Welcome to the Could Be Better podcast, sponsored by and brought to you by Olde Mother Brewing. Colin, how are you?
Great. How are you?
That's great. Genevieve, what's up?
Yo.
So, guys, full disclosure, Genevieve has had like 6 cups of coffee.
Facts.
And she came in and she was buzzing. And she goes, hey, if you need something for the podcast, which, I mean, come on, we were desperate for material on the podcast. And she goes, I had this thing, and she goes and tells me the story. So, Genevieve, can you please tell the nation?
Yeah, I got you.
What's up?
So on my way here, I go to Taco Bell because typically I have $11 in my bank account, and that is the vibe. So I also was very tired and wanted to stop for coffee as well. But when I went through the drive-thru of Taco Bell, I saw that they had iced coffee.
Sucker for iced coffee.
Yeah, you know, I do be a sucker for iced coffee. So I saw that they had iced coffee on the menu, and I was like, am I about to be that bitch? And I was. It was the Cinnabon Delight flavor, and I was like, cool, this will save me a trip stopping for coffee, and totally bought it. Yep, I totally got the Taco Bell iced coffee.
And Joe just came out like, why are they talking about Taco Bell iced coffee?
Yeah. Which Taco Bell is an unofficial sponsor of the podcast. Shout out to
Joe
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell sponsor.
But Genevieve, so you mentioned one thing that was really important that I think the fans and, you know, honestly our sponsors want to know is you didn't really like it. You didn't really like it.
No, it was not a vibe.
They're not going to sponsor
Absolutely
us
not a vibe.
And what did it taste like? Joe, you better take those gift things back.
Okay.
Joe, put those back in your pocket. They're for you.
Take those with you.
For listeners, the people that are not tuning into the live stream, again, we give all of our podcast guests, just like the late night shows.
Like the Oscars, they get a gift bag.
Get a gift bag. And so we gave Joe actually several gifts, Colin. There's several of those things there. And he put all of them under your notepad.
He's refusing his gift. That's really rude.
Yeah.
What?
He lived in a place that had 100 million of those things for 2 years of his life.
They're the best 2 years of his life. So, but Genevieve, speaking of
Were they?
Speaking of the best 2 years of your life, can you finish telling us what that coffee tastes like?
So the iced coffee that I got from Taco Bell that I was so excited about to be Cinnabon Delight, it tasted like simultaneously burnt and watered down. Yeah.
Which prompted, what did you say?
I said, well, I guess this confirms the fact that water can be burnt.
And there we go. That
Cool. Well,
that concludes the segment with Genevieve. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, and for people that don't know, so Genevieve, creative visionary director by, and so she is here whenever we tape, and she takes photos of our guests and does all sorts of awesome things, and we are eternally grateful for her.
Eternally or internally?
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah. Colin, obviously we record this intro after we record the interview of the podcast.
Which is what we always do. We always talk about
We
that.
always talk about it.
Yes.
And our guest said we were a little low. How do you feel today?
Low.
Yeah, I feel low too. I feel like he gets us, which is unfortunate. I thought I could hide it. You know, I thought maybe Joe won't notice I'm tired, but I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, well, you also shared a story about how you were tired when you got here.
Yeah. Wes,
tired.
my son is now in this kind of spot where he sleeps sometimes, and so I typically will do like the late night feeding so Laura can get some sleep, and it's all cool. But it's been catching up to me this week, and it's a long work day, and I'm just like, oh.
Isn't he like 13 by now?
Dude, it's crazy. I caught him mowing the lawn in the middle of the night. He had like a headlamp on and stuff. It was crazy.
Even though it snowed the other day.
I didn't get snow. Did you get snow?
No, but
snow's for the week.
Yeah, snow is for the week. So our guest tonight is Joe Jalette. Of course, is the other half of Double Motorcycle, which we talked about. Mm-hmm. Though I tried my best to remain not in Double Motorcycle. I don't know how well that worked.
I mean, it felt good. I feel like you appropriately straddled the situation in the conversation.
I do like straddling.
Yeah. I think it's it's something you're good at. I've seen you do it. It's it's an art. But yeah, it was kind of fun though because you kind of got to. I hope you felt like it was fun because you kind of got to play both sides, the interviewer and the interviewee. Almost just kind of like you took off one hat and put on the other.
multiple. Are you saying throughout, back and forth?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot to say there. We have our album, or latest album came out New Year's Day 2021. It would have been.
Yeah.
So then we wanted to talk about this show that we're playing, the last show of something. Maybe the last. It's so ambiguous. Not even.
I know. Even Joe like skirted around that. Okay, so we did ask him definitively, is this the final show? What is the asterisk for? Why? And he gives a really interesting answer. So you have to make sure you tune in to listen. But yeah, that show's going to be such a great time. It's May 20th. It's at Olde Mother Brewing Company in downtown Frederick. 21 plus to drink, free show.
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. I mean, what else do you do on a Friday except
on
for party?
A spring Friday.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
What did you think? What did you think of having Joe on? You guys don't. Well, I mean, I guess you have talked a bit because he has been at your place.
Yeah.
To help raise the baby.
Yeah, it's been cool. Seeing Joe breastfeed is something I didn't think I needed in my life, and he's doing a great job.
But you do.
Yeah, it's great. No, it's Joe's just a joy to talk to, and it's cool to see him. He's kind of in a new spot now, where he's kind of, he said, as people will listen in and hear, he's kind of in a building phase, and he's in a new spot. And that's, to be very honest, that's not a place I've seen Joe too often. So it was really nice to be able to kind of hear that from him, and hear what he's doing now and hear what he was thinking about doing next. So it's exciting. So for fans of Joe, for fans of DoubleMotorcycle, I think this is an exciting episode, and I hope people listen all the way through.
And even Silent Old Mtns and SEAKNUCKLE, definitely SEAKNUCKLE. There's a surprise at the end.
Yeah, for all the old heads out there, we got some good stuff. Good stuff. Colin, speaking of good stuff,
are you gonna read a beer description now?
I don't even need to read this beer description. This is how excited I am about good stuff. Sometimes when you're having a good time, you just say, man, if it feels good, just do it. And then if you say, it just feels good, man, you literally just named the name of the latest Olde Mother beer that is actually a Timberwolves-inspired beer.
That's true.
And local legends, friends of the show, friends in life.
Brett is so pumped on this beer.
Yeah, and I found out Matt actually did the design work.
Yeah.
So it's this cool thing. So, Marcus drinks the beer, Matt designed the beer, and Brett drinks the beer as well. It's a team effort. But so anyway, so shout out to Olde Mother Brewing for showcasing an awesome band that's putting out new music. They just put out a new record. They have a freaking QR code on the beer. Just get it.
Oh, that's fun.
Listen to their stuff.
To the record?
Uh-huh.
No kidding.
And it goes to their stuff. Yeah, it's
clever.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So thank you, Olde Mother, for giving a shit about bands here in Frederick. Thank you for doing cool things, and we will be calling you about our beer sometime here soon.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, guys, come on. You get DoubleMotorcycle beer, you get Timberwolves beer. Come on.
You also have the built-in, self-deprecating, low expectation. It could be better.
What else do you want?
Yeah. So make it shitty if you want.
Yeah, if you have a beer you're going to throw away, just put it, say it could be better.
Just can Busch Light and put your name on it.
Please. Anheuser-Busch, we're here for you. This is the podcast. This is the show. This is the episode. This is our time.
What a great description.
I am here for words. This is our interview with Joe Jalette of DoubleMotorcycle, Silent Old Mtns, SEAKNUCKLE, and just our friend. Thanks for the permission, Dad. We are here with Joe Jalette from DoubleMotorcycle, Silent Old Mtns,
SEAKNUCKLE.
Ooh. Is there anything else?
Yeah, what else?
Joe Jalette Family Band?
It's that's on its way. If you know what I mean.
Are we going to promote that show too?
Plenty of promotion coming up in the future.
Yeah, it's a big campaign.
Yeah, it's more of a promotion company. It's JoeJalettePromotions.com.
JJP for short.
Yeah.
People know. Joe, for people that are tuning into the live feed here, you look amazing.
Thank you, Chris.
You do.
I appreciate that compliment.
I really do.
I walked in and I was like, shit, here's Brad Pitt Promotions 14. It's going to be some new thing. He just looks freaking hot.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. Thanks for coming along. He gave me a ride here tonight.
He's the new drummer in DoubleMotorcycle.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Way better.
Wow.
Way better.
He knows how to grow a mustache.
Is he going to let people share his kit?
That's the difference between me and him. But we'll get to that. So
Don't bring up sharing so quickly. Come on now.
So how are you? How have you been?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Great. How is this is just gonna be two old friends catching up now. This is all, and then Chris is gonna be
Guys,
like,
that hurt way more than I'm gonna admit. But like, I wasn't expecting it to sting, and then I let it go, and it just hurts a little bit. But yeah, I've been excited about this interview, but at the same time, I'm just like, can I just not say anything and like just go get a drink and do something else? Also, this podcast is brought to you by Olde Mother Brewing. But it's like I'm with Double Motorcycle, and this is the way that God intended it to be. Sorry, everyone that's played bass, myself included, but like it's kind of cool with it just being the original.
Well, Chris, I must admit, it's amazing to be confined to a room with you and Colin. It feels like that dream where we forced you into the back of the Prius again, and we went for a long drive, and you were like, come on, I don't want to play. We were like, we're going to play. It's going to be so much fun. And you were like, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
and then it was.
Yeah, it was. Those 30 minutes were a lot of fun.
Tell me about it.
That's what I mean. We should kind of turn this around. We'll open it up by turning it on to you and ask you what it was like to play in Double Motorcycle with two psychos.
Oh man, people don't want to hear that. But if you subscribe to our Patreon, you'll get the secret episode where I talk about all the dirty details, going from does Colin wear socks while he drives? Does Joe even drive with his eyes open? And
no.
How soon do we make the set list before we play?
Well, that there is truth to one of those three things he said.
There's a set list?
It was like, I think maybe it was just me. And I think I was like, oh no, we'll do this. And then you were like, all right, I'm going to go find a napkin. And then 40 minutes later, I'd find you and like, hey, Joe, we play in 5 minutes. Yeah, well, I got the set. And I was writing it down this napkin, but then I got it wet. So, I mean, here you go, man. All right, we got to go. And then we would get up there and we kind of like would make it through the record, maybe see someone. And then it would be like, Joe, what are we playing?
And, you know, I would just pray. I was like, God, I really hope Colin does that thing where he just starts playing the drums to the beginning of something. And I can figure out what song, because sometimes I would jump into a different song and Colin would be like, I'm good enough to make this work.
Those were the best days, though. Those are the best days.
Yeah.
I want to, I mean, instead of, we don't want to, nobody cares about Double Motorcycle. I want to go, when we talked about, and I don't even know how much of this I know. I know that we've talked about who you kind of started to play guitar with and how you got into music. But I am wondering, when you started creating your own stuff, was that while you were in Silent Old Mtns? Was that before that? Were you always writing?
Yeah. Well, so I guess I didn't start playing guitar at all until like very, very tail end of high school. You know, John Phelps was like, "Hey, this is a power chord," and I pretty much learned the foundations of how to play music from just hanging out with my bud John. You know, then I went away to school and was like, instead of studying, what if I write a song about Bertolt Brecht?
And that was Pyramid.
You know, and here we are.
How long? So that was what? You've been playing for what, 10, 15 years? 15 years maybe?
Yeah, that's probably longer than that. I don't even know what year it is now, but it's like 2005, 4.
Were the Mountains your first project?
No. Well, what's a project? That's, you know.
So you played out with, wrote with somebody.
Well, actually, no. So I wrote with well, I performed with Evan Owens. We were in a band called the Sherpas.
Okay.
And then we changed it to a friend of ours, Miles Vlahos, was like, it needs to be edgier. So we changed it to Debt of Thieves. That lasted for one show. And then we changed it to The Quiet War. The Quiet War is a reference to Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars from Behold a Pale Horse by Bill Cooper, for all the conspiracy nuts out there. Holla!
Then from there, it was the Mountains?
Yeah, well, the Mountains evolved because I started doing theater with Tom Hewinger, who plays keys in the Mountains. Him and I wrote some theater music together, and then I like weaseled my way into the Mountains, which they were already kind of doing stuff, which was really cool. And yeah, we all played at Church Street Pub. At that point, like, Church Street Pub was the most fun. Yeah, it was. I don't know if you guys have touched on the subject before, but like during that era, the Church Street Pub was this weird mecca where you would go and it was like one-upmanship. Like every week you'd show up and like Andrew would have this new song and I'd be like, fuck, man. And then, you'd show up the following week and me and Tom would have a song and Sam and plenty of others. Adrian Smith used to hang out there with everybody. But
friend of the podcast, Adrian Smith.
That's right.
yeah,
That's right. But that was such a small space. I knew it from the first Saturday hip hop nights, or last Saturday, whichever ones it was, and it was that kind of the same thing. You had 20 hip hop artists coming from all over the place, Baltimore, DC, and in Frederick, and they just passed around the microphone, and it was packed.
Mm-hmm.
I can just imagine. Was that the same thing, but with rock music essentially?
Yeah, like what started out with like, because it was this like kind of older crowd like scene of like let it be, and then they kind of like took us in and were like, hey, let's jam, brothers, and then we showed up with our like songs that we wrote, and they were like, this is okay, and they only had chocolate wine, it was no liquor, and
Wow.
which is great, and no fights or anything. It was really, really amazing.
Were you young?
So young, yeah,
Was
so
it
naive.
Like, was it? Well, it was the reason there was no liquor because everybody was underage, or was that because? they just
No,
didn't have-
because technically it wasn't. I don't know what the regulations were, but like they were allowed to serve beer, but not liquor. But they could serve chocolate wine. So if it's someone's birthday, you take shots of chocolate wine. And they couldn't have a kitchen, but they would make pizza with really, really old expired cheese and dough in this little toaster oven. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I guess you save money on cake and you just put it in the wine.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it's.
Did you ever play there, Chris?
No, I only knew of it as the middle kid practice space. I never went to a
Really?
show.
When was that?
When they were practicing, when they were a band. I think, sorry, when really like, formative answer.
You fucking dick.
Yeah. Andrew was playing bass in the band and said,
Oh,
yeah,
so that was recent.
yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I've never been there at all.
You know why I think that they practiced there? I think that was when they got kicked out of the building because Ryan like reported them or something, and they were like, "We're gonna make, all right, we're gonna make this happen."
Officer Ryan, the cop.
Yeah, my very, very good friend Ryan Nicholson, God rest his soul, love that guy.
Who's not a cop.
Yeah, no, well, and I don't mean to,
So is he a cop? Come on, Joe. We don't
I
have all
mean,
day here.
who here among us is not a cop?
That's true.
I mean, I hate to cop to it, but
Let's play.
and just to be a cappella for a second. So I actually went. So I just moved out of living with my best friend I lived with for a little while, and I was looking for new places. And one of the places I looked at was the Church Street Pub, completely redone.
Really?
Is it amazing?
It's actually it's beautiful. It's really nice. Made a lot of room in there. Huge showers. Beautiful.
Is it $4,000 a month?
It's unnecessarily expensive. Not worth it.
So you're saying we shouldn't rent it out and put on a Silent Old Mtns the show there for old time's sake?
Not. I think it's in the books.
I don't think Silent Old Mtns ever wants to do a Could Be Better show again.
No, it's not true. They're playing one, like, I know this episode is coming out in the future, but, like, they played one. They told me they had a great time playing at Olde Mother Brewing Company.
Who told you? Just Andrew?
No, the whole band. They collectively sent an email.
All
like,
7 of them?
Yeah, even you.
Oh, that was a bot.
You
No,
e-signed. You e-signed.
Oh,
you-
damn it. Oh, it always gets me.
You e-signed and your social security number was in the signature, so I knew it was legit.
Nice. All right, take that.
So, well, with that said, I'll co-sign on whatever this first song is going to be. Do you
We
see
just
what
bought
I
a
did there?
house.
Which
Professional.
which song you want to hear first? What do you want to play first? I know. Do you want to save the special song for last?
Sure.
With John? Yeah. No.
Shush
Yeah,
shush your
don't tell
mush.
the people.
Shush your mush. Yeah, let's play a song.
What do you want to hear?
We did release an album, but you know what? I want to wait because we didn't even talk about that yet. So I want to play an old song that was my favorite song to play with Chris Perry
Don't lie.
when we were the heaviest, coolest band in the world with backup harmonies, rockin' moves and stuff. See Someone from our second album, produced by Derek Salazar, who is a saint.
Yes. Shouts to Derek. Here's See Someone.
Saw you in the sewer on your birthday when you were a kid. You wanted to swim with the river, but it drowns you anyway when you get out of here. But tell me if you see someone, will you tell someone? living with the flow. Speed up to slow down, but you can't hear me loud. Put on a show, cut me up and put me in the know. Saw you in the mirror on my birthday when I was a kid. I wanted to swim with the river, but it drowned me anyway when I got out of here. But tell me if I see someone, can I be someone you know? Living with the flow, speed up to slow down, but you can't hear me loud. Put on a show, cut me up and put me in the know. And everybody needs a chance to change sometimes, but I've been giving you a chance to change my mind. Your shame, shame, shame on you. If you see someone, can you beat, 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 beat? Living with the flow, speed up to slow down, but you can't hear me. Put on a show, cut me up and put me in the know.
See someone. Man, I love that song.
Oh, see. Remember when we played that live? Sometimes we'd do that for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, unnecessarily long.
There's a lot.
Double Motorcycle is nothing if not indulgent.
Oh yeah, all the way
It's the most indulgent two-person band since the Black Keys,
to our own detriment. Well,
or I guess since the White Stripes, probably.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, we're more indulgent than anybody.
You know, it's like eating red velvet cake naked on the
Or
Eiffel
drinking
Tower.
chocolate wine.
You know, chocolate wine.
One way,
chocolate wine.
no way out, baby.
But yeah, so I mean, an oldie but a goodie. Obviously, I got to play a lot of songs from that record, and it was a ton of fun. Had a blast doing it.
Yeah, what was your favorite song to play? What was it? Was it that one?
The clown.
Yeah, it was the clown. I think every time Joe put that in the set, like, no, let's cut that. It's like, no, man, it'll be cool. I'm like, Joe, we haven't practiced it, and there's like a lot of stuff in there. You're like, no, all right.
That's one of those that twists and turns for like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
But the switches, if you don't know it,
You're fucked.
that's
Yeah. I think my favorite song off of that record was either Evil or See Someone. I'm a total like Loser fan, and I listened to the first like half of the record, so I'm like, oh, those are the songs 1 and 2, and it's just great.
Wait,
Songs 2 and 3.
I think is that it? I thought See Someone was 4.
I think.
No,
Oh,
I don't know.
actually,
You're the one who put it out.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was.
didn't you, like, name it?
No,
was a
because
group that
Keep Me Up.
practiced.
It was Keep Me Up was 3. Keep Me Up.
Okay,
And
so
then it's
yeah,
See
I mean, Keep Me Up was cool. I like that song too. I got to put on the bass fuzz. It was cool.
It was so rocking.
But so that record's cool. Had a great time. You guys did a great job. It was a lot of fun to listen to. It was a lot of fun to play. But what people
You're so resentful.
All right, well, if anybody can convince Chris Perry to be in a band again, he is the most fun, one of the most fun. Colin's really fun too.
Colin's a lot of
People
fun.
to be in a band with. And we played awesome shows, and Chris is a blast. Even if he can be like, hey, put your shirt back on.
His shirt was always off, guys, and somehow his seatbelt was always on. I didn't understand how it happened. It's like a skill. Houdini with cuffs, but instead Joe with shirts.
And scissors.
What were you gonna say? You were gonna say something.
I was
that
just
cut
gonna
you
say.
off.
So 2 was really cool. But Joe, as you were kind of getting into it, it's like I don't think so. This is the first time we've had you on the podcast. Colin and I is reluctantly my co-host, and he is also reluctantly a friend. And so at this
Reluctantly alive.
yeah, and all of the above. But like you have never gotten a chance to talk about 3. Which is
There you
the latest Double Motorcycle record. And so
Yeah,
for
talk
me,
about that.
I'm on Facebook New Year's Eve, and then all of a sudden I see new album just dropped. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Like, why do you do this to me all the time? Like, where's your marketing campaign? Where's your agent? Where's all your stuff? And so I'm like, well, cool. I guess I'm going to stay up now and listen to this record. And it's like, it hits different when it's late. It's a great late night record.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's because it was all written late night.
Yes.
Very loudly.
Very loud in this room, probably.
Which is interesting because it's like, it's not a loud record.
That's true.
Guys.
Depends on how loud your speakers are turned on.
Tell me about 3. Tell me what it was like, the recording process, what you liked about it, why you guys just dropped it. You know, the songs kind of all range from like a lyrical standpoint. It's like it's still you, but it's still also very different than the other stuff you've done.
Yeah. Well, so I guess that album kind of just organically evolved out of, I went through some personal stuff and a lot of personal opportunity for growth, we would say, that coincided with a global pandemic where I essentially completely let go and was as honest and personal with, this is my immediate experience. I have to get this out or I will die. Yeah. Which is like literally, it was day to day. Like, if I don't get this out of me, I can't make it to tomorrow. And fortunately, I was living with my best friend who was willing to stay up late and facilitate, the organic experience of writing something that meant the entire world to me. And when it came to releasing it, and the pandemic thing, and just back up for a second, like, we had plenty of time living together with the world shut down. Colin had a drum set up in his bedroom. I had a Martin Backpacker little acoustic travel guitar, and we would just kind of, hey, I got this thing about, hating my stupid hair or whatever the songs are about.
It's never stupid, Joe. It's never stupid. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. It's actually very intelligent hair. And these songs kind of unfolded, and, it was a blast writing. And then, part of the pandemic thing, we were able to connect with Dan, who is a saint, and organically kind of integrated him into how these songs unfolded. And it wouldn't have come together without him. And then it definitely wouldn't have come together as it is on the record without Jordan Miller, who has a wonderful podcast, aside from this, anyway, and Luna, and so we did that, and it was really cool, and then we released it because it just had to get out there.
Yeah,
it was. This is not the Double Motorcycle episode. This is the Joe Jalette episode. But I will say though that I will never ever forget that album. Joe's laughing for a ton of different reasons, I'm sure, and Dan fit in because for some reasons, at least, the upright stuff.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, so I mean, I'm the boring bass player that's just, regular 4 strings and a guitar and you plug it in. But Dan, yeah, it's like for people, maybe we'll put it in the show notes, but the video for Years Gone By, it's like you kind of hear it and then all of a sudden you see like this brooding man that's holding an upright bass and you're like, oh, shit, that's really cool.
And that lent itself to the songs. Like every song he played, except for Eyes, which he hates, but every other song, and he kind of hates Curves Ahead too, which is a good segue. But every song that felt like deserved an upright bass, which was 95% of the album, he gave it that. And I don't know, it added a sense of warmness to the whole thing. Did you think that was a factor in him coming in?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because he picked it up right away, too. And he was pumped on playing. That's another thing that should be said. Him and April wanted to play. Damood shut everything down during the pandemic. So nobody was getting together. They were very thirsty to play music. We were very thirsty to play music. And so
interesting word choice.
Wow.
To play music.
To play music.
Well, did April play keys on the record?
Or
who played
I
keys?
think Colin actually plays keys.
I played all the keys on it, yeah.
Oh, look at you.
He's right on key.
Multi-instrumentalist.
There was, last thing about 3 is there was one magical moment when we, Colin and I were playing in his bedroom, which has screen windows that open to Patrick Street. And we were just kind of organically playing a song, and Dan and April actually showed up and hung out outside of the window, at a safe distance. And we wrote some of the tunes that are on the record with them playing through the window, which is
April 12, 2020.
That's right.
Tell you that. So we're two
That's
plus
crazy.
years. It was Easter Sunday.
It was Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
I mean, I've never been to your apartment, Colin. Like, we're recording here in the Could Be Better Studios, but
Yeah.
it sounds like that's a totally different place.
Way
It's
different.
very, very different. I mean, there's better carpeting in my bedroom. So
Oh, the carpet in there's really
Yeah, the carpeting in
crazy.
here is not actually that great.
You call this carpet?
we'd see. I feel like those songs. You're gonna fall on that. I feel like those songs are the most personal songs you've ever written. What do you think?
Yes, yeah. Although, like the early stuff I wrote was just like I'm learning how to write songs, personal, and those were, yeah,
Well,
just straightforward, honest.
And that's so. When we come back, then set up this next song. And when we come back, then I want to talk about what you want to do next. What's going to happen next? What your vision for the reunion tour for Double Motorcycle is, which is going to be announced at the farewell show.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's hitting all the countries that it's never played before.
So,
wow!
Starting in
Chris, you better
Brazil.
pack that
and
up.
I want to talk about too the Old Mother thing. When is that? What's that date?
Oh, I mean, we have to wait till people
Okay,
come back.
well,
Let's
well-
let them listen to the song. Let's
So
give
set
them
up
some
this
details.
song. Yeah,
Yeah, so although I wanted to play See Someone, we can all see. Oh wait, we did.
we
I
already
mean,
did play
I mean,
See
terms
Someone.
ahead.
No, we definitely did.
This I'm gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and play New York.
Oh, you're gonna play New York?
Yeah, because this is it's a departure. This record was all over the place, and this is just a fun tune about helicopters chasing you through New York.
Is this about the time that you guys played New York and I got you all lost?
You got us lost in Philadelphia.
That was bad. Yeah,
and-
I'll
Was it
never
Philly?
forget. Yeah, it was Philadelphia.
Okay,
I'll
no
never
worries.
It
forget
was
that.
charming. It was a great show.
Oh, it wasn't charming. Your
No,
phone
I was-
had died.
All right, let's get through the song and then we'll talk about the not New York time that I got you guys lost in Philadelphia.
Scott Ladotti.
Kissing in the corner in the pouring rain. Helicopters come through the bed frame. New Orleans in the summertime in the car. These hospitals too old for us. The rate is just too good. But only York is all I have. It's not that good. It's not that bad. Now we're keeping notebook by the bed. Writing down things that you didn't even know in my head. You sleep for a little while, but the pills pop themselves. The books on the shelf don't sell. But only York is all I have. It's not that good, it's not that bad. And only York is all I need, with all its wishes to come back. People in paper mills, sleeping under the stars, sleeping bags under bridges and ridges. The river can't bend enough for her. And I can. It's not that good. It's not that bad. But only York is all I need, all its wishes to proceed.
I gotta say, I want to say this real quick since you just heard New York. We mentioned Dan and April before, and we said April did not play on the album. She didn't, but she was actually responsible for the feel of that song. If you remember, that was a completely different song, and one night we brought it to them, and she had this weird jangly piano thing that never made it in. It should have, but it didn't.
You
And
didn't want to pay her royalties. Like
and that kind of inspired Dan's bass line, which carried the whole song. So shout to April.
April.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this while, obviously while we were listening to the song. 'Cause that's what we did here at the Could Be Better Studios. But I screwed up. That whole so so we said New York, and then it was turned out to be Philly, and then it actually turned out to be 2 separate trips. So fans of the podcast, you have to just subscribe to our secret Patreon feed and get your stuff later, and you can hear the other room mic that we have in here that's always recording.
That's right. Even when I sleep.
Even when we're not recording. And that live feed can be yours for the price of $69.99 per month.
Per month. So what's going to happen now, Joe? When is you were going to look up the date, right? For the Old Mother.
I already know the date.
Oh,
I was just trying to
okay.
leave you. So Joe, you are doing a ton of cool things coming up, right?
I don't know.
So this episode's out Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
okay.
get
Look
a
at those
margarita.
Margaritas. That's exactly what we're drinking right now. They're Old Mother margaritas. And so this episode's coming out on May 5th. And so, Joe, here's your schedule. As your agent, your agent forwarded me the Google Calendar invite for everything. And so you are playing with your band Silent Old Mtns at Olde Mother on May 21st. It's a Friday.
20th.
No, it's not. Is it the 20th?
Come on.
Shit. Guys, I'm not a professional.
Hey, one of us
we
is
moved
dad
it to
here.
the 20th. That was the thing.
Yeah, guys, I'm still on dad.
Get the
Yeah,
fuck
Dad,
out
I'm
of
on
here.
dad light savings time, and everything's wrong. May 20th. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
Like Joe said, because he's a professional and knows his own dates.
Did you see
He
my
doesn't
hair?
need a booking agent. Have you seen his hair?
I
Come on.
don't even read books.
So May 20th, we got Silent Old Mtns. So obviously you're playing the show. It's gonna be super cool.
I guess.
But then what's really cool is like you're in the headlining band, and it's Double Motorcycle. It's a Double Motorcycle Silent Old Mountain show. It's too much to Joe.
Too much. Too much.
Too much to Joe. Who are
And-
the other bands?
Oh man, it's a great bill. So we get, and actually you're doing Too Colin Too Much too.
Oh.
It's Double Motorcycle, Silent Old Mountains, Chrome Rodeo, which
Chrome Rodeo, that's what I was
played their
thinking.
stuff before on
They
the
want to use
podcast.
my drums, and they can get the hell out.
There we go. And then Double or Nothing. So obviously Dan, April, Colin, the whole family will be there. Guys, this is gonna be great. Who's bringing the corn on the cob?
I don't get that joke.
You know, like family reunions, like you bring food.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. It was a dumb joke. Anyway, it shows at 6:30. It's free, 21 to drink. I mean, have a great time. But then what's cool is then you're also doing this sweet thing on June 28th.
Yes.
You're doing this Joe Jalette and the Family Band thing. It's gonna be freaking cool.
Yeah, what's up with this, man? What's gonna happen?
And I want 10% if you're actually calling it the Family Band.
Well, if you're in the band, it's anything you want. You get 10%. You can have the whole thing, Chris.
I gotta
I'll
call
do
my-
anything.
I
to
gotta
get you
call
back
my
in the
agent.
band. But yeah, to be completely honest, I don't even know yet. There's a couple different things happening because I've got a ton of like a backlog of weird music, like funky loop stuff, and then now I'm plowing through like a bunch of new material flowing out of playing with my partner in crime, who shall be unnamed for the time being, and I'm super excited about that, and it's fun and exciting, and kind of polar opposite of the last Double Motorcycle record, but also there's some other surprises coming out, and I'm looking to get some sleeves down stuff out. That's some stuff I worked on with Tom Hewinger that needs some love. So
Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Chris?
No, so two things then. I've one is the Mystery Joe Theater 3000. That's gonna be a ton of fun. Guys, listen, I'm telling.
Yeah, he keeps giving you these names.
These are
he
great.
wants you to
Like at
use.
least one of these is gonna be halfway decent.
I'm gonna tattoo.
But that's gonna be really cool. That's part of the Tuesday night artist showcase at Olde Mother Brewing. It's gonna be awesome, great time. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's crazy. Yeah, it's a long time, but you get a break. It's fine. You can like pee and stuff.
Double or Nothing played 3 sets and took 2 breaks,
Yeah,
and
it
those
was-
breaks were 30 minutes each. So
But as Colin was saying, like kind of jokingly, kind of seriously, I guess, but it's like we've been instructed to call this Double Motorcycle Show the Farewell Asterisk Show. Can you tell the fans, the listeners, what that means?
Ooh, that's a hard question.
That's very hard. For the legions of fans.
But
and
I don't have to
listeners.
answer it. You do.
Story of my life, man.
What do you think? What's going to happen?
Although I do channel Edgar Casey when I sleep on Wednesdays and Saturdays, I have no idea, but right now it's absolutely time to close a chapter on something and to enjoy wrapping up this journey that has been Double Motorcycle so far. And that was probably going to happen a little while ago. We were supposed to play the show at Eagles with like Timberwolves and a couple. Something happened. I don't know. We weren't able to play.
I'm looking at Colin here. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
you know what he's talking about?
I just remember that the day before that we were supposed to open for the nationally recognized artists Sponge, and they threw us off the tour, and then we spiraled.
Oh yeah. That's
what happened.
We didn't play that. As
So if you're listening, Sponge,
shows. Thanks a lot, Pandemic. Sponge.
go ahead. My thought with it, and I agree with everything that you just said, but I also something that this actually just occurred to me while we were doing this interview, sitting here now, because this is kind of the first time we've been able to get far away from the last record and then talk about it. And writing that record was such a ball of intensity and convenience, because we were living in the same place and all of that, and we could just pick up songs and work for an hour and that'd be it. When that, we don't have that luxury anymore, so it's harder to work together. But that also then makes me reflect on how we wrote the first couple albums, where we just set times and we played, and that was good and healthy, and that was really nice. So I don't know. I think maybe do you think, I guess my question is, because of that convenience of the way the last record went down and everything that went into it, because you were willing and ready to write and bare your heart anyway. How do you come back from that? Like, is that something you're even interested in, wanting me to be in a room with you sweating and writing music?
Oh, come on, man. I just want to get sweaty in a room together.
We're getting sweaty right now because it's hot.
Yeah, I know. You're telling me.
Yeah,
I wore
the
this
landlord,
nice
he was
shirt.
like, hey, we're turning off this fan. I'm like, all right, man, that's fine. I want the fan on for the podcast. The fans need to hear the fans.
Yeah, we got tons of fans. Box fans, ceiling fans. But I love playing music with you, Colin. And I hate to say it, Chris, but I really miss playing music with you too. Now
I'm offended.
Anytime.
See, doesn't it sting? It stings a little bit. And you're like, you don't think it will? Then all of a sudden it just kind of gets you.
No, I wonder, you said you've been writing a lot, and you said it's been going in a different direction. Can you talk a little bit about where you want to go next? Do you want it to be a synthy thing? Like, you and I already have some electronic stuff. What are you thinking?
Right. Yeah. I know. Like if there were a next Double Motorcycle record, it was going full synth pop darkness direction. And I don't. Yeah. Now I'm experiencing a period of kind of like growth and rebirth. A little bit of like Bob Dylan had that transfiguration where he was like, I went in a motorcycle accident, and now I'm like a Civil War soldier or whatever happened. Like that, but there's this positivity happening. I have love in my life, in my heart, and there's this thing flowing out. Also, I think that recently I might have been receiving messages from the Sirius, not the XM satellite station, but the Dog Star, hashtag Keanu Reeves. And I do feel very positive, and there's a lot of stuff coming out that's about building. Now, I need somebody to help me to kind of structure that a little bit, but it's organically happening, and I just want to get as many people involved as possible.
So when you said you have like ideas in building and stuff, like what does that mean? Because I remember I would come into the formerly known as Colin's apartment, now formerly known as the Could Be Better Studios, and you would come in. I'd come into the kitchen window, and he would see you playing guitar in your room, just like kind of working on something that wasn't a Double Motorcycle song. Is that typically like how you write your like? Is that you're just playing into your interface and just coming up with ideas and tracking it, and then? riffing with it? Like, what does that process look like now as you're building?
Yeah, well, I have like a backlog of a bunch of like songs that I wrote a song on an acoustic guitar. It's about metaphors, but this recent batch is like, okay, let me take a really bad beat from this cheap keyboard and put it into my loop pedal, unnecessarily long, and then loop something on top of that, and then something on top of that, and like then we do a clap choir, which is multiple people clapping, different tempos, and then it gets kind of messy, and then just shouting along, and this person I'm in love with has been singing with me late into the night, and something is being built block by block, and cool. It's very honest and pure, and I'm hopeful for the future of reality, which in the past I was like, maybe it's not going to be so good.
Well, it's never good.
No, but that is beautiful, Joe.
It only gets better.
Well, when you're talking about the future, what were you no? You're talking about the future. I want to wrap this up by going to the past and going to SEAKNUCKLE.
Oh, no.
I want to, at least before we hop into this very special thing, reflect and get your thoughts on playing the record release show at the old Frederick News Post building when 100 million people showed up to see that band. And I know you love John, and I know you love Evan, I know you love Matt. Do you talk to them regularly? Do you ever think about that show? Do you ever listen back to that record? I listen back to that record quite a bit. So any thoughts on SEAKNUCKLE?
Yeah. Well, and I talked to those dudes, including Colin Schulzeberger too.
That's right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
And Matt Dabson's out of state, but I connected with him recently, and I love those dudes. They'll be some of the best friends I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. They're wonderful dudes. And we all think fondly back on that time. And like, dude, that was the coolest thing. And I hate to give you credit, Colin, but like, Colin put together this really, really dope show at 200 East. It's kind of the reason the Mountains, got a little kick in the butt to get back together at that moment. And it was just the coolest, most fun experience. And when John, kicked you in the stomach off stage mid-song, I was like, I'm never going to forget this.
Somebody should have a video of that. I know there were pictures. There were all these pictures of me. Were you there?
So did Kind Commons play?
No, that was a different show at Giraffes. Okay. But that was a really cool show, too. I went up. I needed a release by the end of the night. And they came up for their encore, and they played my favorite song of theirs. So I just started dancing on the stage. And I guess doing other things, and John was not happy about that.
No, it was a friendly kick to the gut. Well, it was
that's how I show my friends I care. Yeah. Hey, Colin, how the fuck are you? Boom!
I deserve to be kicked, though. I will say that.
Yeah, wow. It was a blast, think fondly of. And SEAKNUCKLE, somebody tell John to let's get back together. Let's do it.
Yeah. I remember emailing SEAKNUCKLE to play a show one time, and some guy named Miles said, "Yeah, we need $4,000 to play." And I said, I said, these guys are jerks. Yes. And then it sucks because now I've met all of you, and you're not all jerks at all, and it's a real bummer. So shout out to Miles. You charge way too much. Joe, set up this last song, and you found it. Is it in the archives, in the Matrix? Where did it come from?
Well, we're all in the Matrix, but I was listening to your podcast, this wonderful podcast. By the way, you guys got great banter, and I'm all about Ozark now. F Breaking Bad, but
yes, thank you.
Stop.
And like Jordan Miller talking about like, hey, I pulled this thing out of like the old Bedelia days, and I was like, well, I want something cool to like throw out there, and I reached out to John, and he was like, well, I do have some recordings, because right at the tail end of SEAKNUCKLE, Evan Owens started playing drums with the band, and we started recording stuff at home at John's in John's bedroom, and so he was like, yeah, I got a couple songs, so he sent them over to me. They're real rough, but this song's like, it's called Hot Cross Buns, and it's a fun little, I don't know, it's a song.
Did Colin play on the Flying Dog compilation, or was that Evan?
Yeah, no, Evan Owens only played drums in SEAKNUCKLE
for live
like
stuff?
two shows, like Baxter Building at Guido's, and then was going to play on the record. Then the end of the world happened.
Well, and it sucks too, because I remember that Guido show with Evan when he played, and it sucked because you guys, and I think you and I talked about this before, but there was one song you played that was like the coolest song I've ever heard, and it's not any of them that are recording, and it was one of the most like catchiest songs ever, and I was like, damn, this band is awesome, and that's when I emailed Miles, and I hated you guys forever. But but is this that song?
Uh-huh.
Do you know?
Joe, you're a doll. I love you so much. I'm so glad you were able to be here and join the podcast roster of amazing people that are in Frederick. And Frederick is a better city when you're in it, and it's a more beautiful place when you're writing music here. So thank you. Can you tell people where they can find you? The band, not your address. Don't give me your phone numbers. I hate it when I say that. But tell people where they can find stuff for the future Joe Jalette and the Family Mountain Band project.
Oh, Mountain Band. Yeah. So check out Double Motorcycle right now. Just Double Motorcycle, Bandcamp, Double Motorcycle, Instagram, Facebook, sleevesdown.soundcloud.com.
You on TikTok?
And TikTok. Never mind. That's not for this audience. But yeah, no, there's more to come. And I'm gonna run for Senate, but I gotta delete all those videos of us doing weird, like shotgunning beers, Colin.
There's a hell of a video that we put out with Matt. Remember that? We sent it to Derek where it looked like you punched me. We actually recreated it in the video, or the evil video. If you, like at the end of the guitar solo, it actually looks like you punched me really, really hard, and I collapsed.
I thought it was real.
It was.
It felt real.
It did feel real.
Story
And
of my life.
It was so good. Also, come out to this show, right?
Yes,
And,
come out to
May
the show,
20th.
the 20th.
May 20th. Definitely not the other day I screwed
Yeah.
up. Yeah, May 20th at Olde Mother. Silent Old
last show.
Mountains. The last show, and it's gonna be a special time. So make sure you mark your calendars. Be there. May 20th. Silent Old Mountains. Double Motorcycle. Chrome Rodeo. And Colin's other band. Double or Nothing. It's gonna be a great time.
Can I play with you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Ask
Please.
Dan, come on,
I
man.
will. Yeah, honestly.
That'd be so much
I'm
fun.
so serious.
Dude, their new guitar player is good.
I know. I was jealous.
He's awesome. So, all
This
right,
guy's like way better.
Joe, you're the best. Thanks so much, man.
Love you guys.
Let's get away down to the coast just for a year. Hope it reminds us how to. Oh, oh, oh.
Could Be Better podcast is produced by Chris Perry and Colin McGuire from the Could Be Better Studios in Frederick, Maryland.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at couldbebettermeh.
You could also email us at couldbebettermeh@gmail.com. And don't be afraid to reach out if you're an artist, a band, anybody looking for a show. We'd love to book you. Also, if you'd happen to want to be a sponsor, we'd like to hear from you too.
Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or follow us on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Give us a 5-star review if you like what you hear and want to hear more. And also give us a 5-star review if you don't like what you hear and definitely don't want to hear more.
His name is Chris Perry.
This is Colin McGuire.
And we are out of time. For now, this could be better.